Hello everyone and welcome to another video. I didn't feel like streaming tonight because I feel quite tired and not in the mood and quite sick. And even Aris himself doesn't have a stream schedule because he also says that a bad mood creates a bad stream, so I would rather not stream when I'm not in the mood for entertaining a crowd of people. However, I did lab Leroy and I am confident enough to make a starter guide for him. Obviously he's a new character and the community will find more tech and stuff about him in the future, but I did think of some strategies that you could use right now to have some sort of basic but solid gameplay and game plan with him. And overall, Leroy is a really well-rounded character. He doesn't have any obvious weaknesses. He has pretty good punishment. He has even a pretty chunky 14 frame punisher. He also has great pokes, like his down forward one, for example, or his sidestep 4. Lots and lots of jab strings. He has great keep out tools and counter hit tools like back one. He has great tracking as well, for example. He has a half speed that tracks both ways. He has a pretty quick mid-homing move that wall splats. Then also forward 4-3 is a really good homing move because it's +1 on block. Overall, a really solid character. He also has high damage. He gets 70 points of damage easily off of any launcher, and they're really simple combos, and he can use the same combo route basically off of almost any launcher. It would be something like this. And he can use this combo route almost off of any launcher. And if you wonder how I did it, it's basically a launch into down back 1-3, then he does down 3-2, he goes to Hermit Stance, and you press 2-1 to screw, and then you dash in and do up forward 3+4, 1+2 as an ender. I'm gonna talk about his punishment first. So for 10 frames we have 1-2-4. This deals a nice chunk of damage, 27, and you are with +3 frames in Hermit Stance, which we will talk about later. And Leroy has a lot of quick pokes and tools, so you can create some decent offense even with such a small frame advantage, like +3. For 12 frames he has 2-2 for a really solid 30 damage and +7 frame advantage. For 13 frames we have down forward 1-4, you are at +6 and in Hermit Stance, so you can do either 2-2 or down forward 1-4 for 13 frames. It's the same amount of damage, similar frame advantage. It's up to you if you want to go into the stance or not. Now for 14 frames, this is where he gets good. He has 1+2, 1+2, 1 for 14 frames. This deals such a good amount of damage. It's basically combo damage, 56 points of damage, because most characters for 14 frames they get like a 50 damage combo or a 50 damage string, so this is quite good and I'd say above average. For 15 frames he has a launcher, which is always good. You don't want to have a launcher slower than 15 frames fast. And it's down forward to 1+2. It's like a twin pistons kind of notation. Now this is launch punishable on block, so you don't want to use this launcher just randomly. You really want to use it for punishment and for whiff punishment. It has good range, but it's not crazy good. It's just really good, really decent. As for wall standing punishment, we have wall standing 4 for 11. It's a generic wall standing 4, not too good. For 13 frames we have wall standing 1-4, which is basically his down forward 1-4 from neutral. He even has the same frames afterwards. And for 15 he has a wall standing 2. It has multiple hits, but it is only one input. It's just wall standing 2 and you get really good damage off of it. But we will talk about his combos later as well. For moves with pushback, such as Death Fist, you can use, for example, his forward 4, which is a 16 frame mid-mid string with really good range. Or perhaps you could even use back 3. It also has really good range. Slightly worse than forward 4-4 it seems, but it is a launcher. And as for whiff punishment, you can use these two moves for whiff punishment as well. Back 3 and forward 4-4 for quick easy damage. You can also use his down forward 2 1+2, so his whiff punishment is really good. And if you don't want to risk anything unsafe and you aren't really sure in your whiff punishment skills, you can go safe with 1+2 1+2 2. 1+2 is safe on block. 1+2 1+2 is also safe on block. The last hit is minus 13, I think. Okay, minus 17. But you can hit confirm the last hit. You can just press 1+2 1+2 quickly, see if all the hits come out. And if they do, you just press 1 to finish the string. And the good thing about this string is as well is that although the first hits are all highs, the opponent cannot deduct them because they're jail on block. So yeah, it's pretty safe. Let me see what else he has for whiff punishment. Oh, that would be it for whiff punishment. Let's move on to his pokes now. He has lots and lots of great pokes and poke strings, but I will mention the ones that I find most useful, especially since this is supposed to be a starter guide for Leroy beginners. So he has his down forward 1. This is a 13 frames fast generic down forward 1, except this one is super good. It's only -1 on block and 13 frames fast, and -1 on block is like the best you can get with a down forward 1 in Tekken 7. It has really decent range as well, and also it has good tracking to his left. Extremely good tracking actually. And it also has 2 extensions, down forward 1-1, which is a high, duckable of course, and down forward 1-4. And both of these are natural on hit, and down forward 1-4 goes into his Hermit Stance, which we will talk about later. It's quite unusual for a character with such a good down forward 1 that is only -1 on block to have extensions. Usually extensions make up for bad frames on block for a down forward 1. For example, Zafina's down forward 1, which is -5 on block, not -1. Now let's talk about other poke strings. He has a lot of jab strings. For example, 1-1 is a high mid. It is -7 on block and not natural on hit, but it is natural on counter hit, and it also has a really damaging follow-up, which is guaranteed on counter hit, and that can be quite dangerous at the wall. It is like 47 damage. And it is 1-1, 1+2, 1. This will lead to massive damage at the wall, and you can counter hit confirm the last hit, just like you can confirm the last hit of 1+2, 1+2, 1. 2-1 is also a high mid poke string, but this one is 12 frames fast instead of 10, and it also has extensions like 2-1, 2-1, which has a similar use to the previous string. The last 2 hits are also guaranteed on counter hit. Let me see actually if the whole string is guaranteed. Oops. Okay, not guaranteed on counter hit, but if they press buttons after 2-1 and the 3rd hit counter hits, the 4-1 is guaranteed and they can be wall splat. Now you can use 1+2, 1+2 for poking as well, not only for punishments, since we said that all these high hits cannot be ducked if the opponent blocks the first hit. And you can confirm the last hit. So it's an easy, quick poke for big damage. We talked about down forward 1-4 as a transition to Hermit Stance, but he also has a string with down forward 4-3. And these are two mids, both are safe on block. The first hit goes to Hermit Stance actually with +6 frames on block, hit. And if you think that the opponent will try to interrupt you after the first hit, you can finish the string with the 3 and counter hit them. Like this. And you might get a free follow-up there. Not sure what, but something will be guaranteed. Oh yeah, for example, down 1+2. Okay, then he has sidestep 4 as a really good low poke. It's one of his only low pokes that are plus on hit actually. This is +4 and forces the opponent to crouch. And what's even better is that it gets, he gets a free 2-2 on counter hit because it's +12 on counter hit, as you can see. So great damage and great frames. And it's only, I think, -12 on block. Yeah, it's only -12 on block. As for other low pokes, he has, for example, down 2. Looks like it might avoid some highs. It's -1 on block, hit, unfortunately, but only -12 on block again. It also has an extension if you think they're gonna try to press buttons afterwards. Another essential low will be down 3. It's not bad on its own either, but it's even better with the extension 2. So it's down 3 too. These are natural on hit, and you have +8 frames and a Hermit mix-up. So that's really dangerous, and you're gonna blow up people who don't know Leroy with this string online all day long, especially now that nobody knows him yet. The only problem with this string is that if they do duck and they block the first hit, the second hit will whiff and you're gonna die. And then he also has down 4, which is even faster as a low. I believe this is his fastest low poke, 14 frames fast. And he also has this low, down back 4. This looks really similar to one of Kazuya's lows, and this actually gives a mini combo on counter hit. So that was counter hit, down back 4, into full crouch, down forward 4-1, into down 2-4. I'm gonna talk about some key moves now that aren't pokes and they come from his neutral stance. Obviously he has 2+3, which is a gimmick. It's not gonna be used much in high-level gameplay. And Sugar can decide if she wants to attack the opponent or not.
Go, Sugar.
And if she does attack him, Leroy gets a launch actually with his cane, down forward 2+3, and into a massive combo here. Let's see.
Go, Sugar. Go, Sugar.
Oops.
Go, Sugar.
The cane on its own, down for 2+3, is a one-time use move only. You see he drops the stick, so that means you can use this move only once per match. But it is a great move actually. It's quite slow. The first hit is 22 frames fast, which is quite slow. The good thing is this move is +8 on hit, and it's a normal hit launcher, and it's almost like a homing move. It tracks really well to Leroy's right, and the second hit tracks well even to Leroy's left. So it's like a plus on block, slow mid, but also almost homing launcher. And you can use this to give Leroy more damage in certain combos, for example after forward 4-3. get a little bit more damage thanks to this move. As I said previously, Leroy has good tracking and some pretty good homing moves as well. As I said, forward 4-3 is a good homing move. It's quite fast at 18 frames or up to 23. That's what the frame data says. I believe it doesn't count the forward input, so it's gonna be slightly slower in a real match. However, this is +1 on block, so you have a slight frame advantage. It has really good range, so because it's plus on block and has really good range, it's a great way of getting closer to your opponent. And as we showed previously, he gets a mini combo, for example with this, and this actually would floor break on a floor break stage, and he would get a full combo. Or you can get some damage with the cane into something like this, or the stomp, which was down back. Yeah, this is down back to 1+2, the ground hit. And most importantly, he has back 4. This will be your main homing move. It's mid, quite fast, safe on block, tail spins, and it's gonna wall splat. So it's great for his wall game as well, and it has fantastic range. And a second important mid is his up 4-4. This is like the best orbital in the game. Obviously it low crushes. It's quite fast for an orbital, and it gives him a full combo. I forgot to say that Leroy has really good combo damage. He gets 70 damage easily from almost, if not every launcher, and it's only -3 on block. This means he can easily sidestep afterwards almost any retaliation from the opponent. Linear attacks will always whiff here, and he will be able to sidestep even some tracking moves since he's only at -3. And as we know, the more minus we are on block, the harder it is to step anything. But at about -1 to -3, it's really easy to sidestep stuff. Oh, sorry, I can't talk today. Down for 1+2 is your power crush from the neutral. It is -14 on block, so characters that have 14 frame launchers will be able to launch you on block. However, it is a wall bounce, so that's pretty good. It's like Julia's forward 1+2 wall bounce actually, although it seems a little slower. Startup frame says 24 frames fast. And then he has down 1+2, and I love this mid so much. It tracks to his right actually, and it has great range, as you can see. It's great for bullying opponents at mid-range, and it's amazing also because it's 0 on block, so you don't lose any momentum at all, and it is a counter-hit launcher. Like so. So it's a great move. I'm gonna love abusing this move. I think I will use this move against opponents who side quick roll from the ground as well, similarly to Lily's down forward 3, but that move is plus on block. But in the neutral, objectively speaking, this move is much better than Lily's down forward 3. Then he also has his own health sweep actually, in down back 3 1+2. It's truly unseeable because it's 18 frames fast. Of course, it staggers on block, so Leroy dies here. The nice thing about this is that it tracks both ways. So, you know, opponents who step a lot, they're gonna have a hard time versus Leroy, so because you can use this, and you can mix it up with back 4 as a homing move, and both will catch them moving. I believe this is almost like a homing move, the down back 3 1+2. while it does knock down, it doesn't wall splat, but it's still useful at the wall as well to force them to duck at the wall. And then you can set up your mids to wall splat them. Okay. Then he has great keep out tools as well and counter hits, excluding his parries, which are also fantastic, but I don't know how to use them yet, so I'm not gonna include them right now. But I am going to mention that one. This is an 11 frames fast safe high. It has okay range for a panic tool. Most importantly, it deals 50 damage on counter. This is why it's great as a panic tool. He also has back 1+2. This is a 12 frame mid safe counter hit launcher actually. For 74 points of damage, easy. The problem is it has like no range at all, so unless your opponent is running at you, it's going to miss and you're going to die. That's why, objectively speaking, back one is a much safer panic tool. Since opponents are going to move around a lot, they are more likely to block back one than they are likely to block back 1+2. I don't think it's even possible to block back 1+2. The range is that bad. And then of course he has up forward 2, which is another mid wall bounce. And this one is linear, but it is +1 on block. So I think this will be fantastic for his wall game against opponents who respect Leroy. And he can bully them with this move. Perhaps you could use this on opponents who tech roll as well. Similarly, like you can use down 1+2 versus them. Let's talk about his wall game and wall combos now. Obviously, up forward 2 will be amazing because it is +1 on block, mid wall bounce, as we said previously. It looks like it's gonna low crush as well, so it might jump over some toe kicks or low get up kicks, for example. You can mix this up also with back 4, also a fantastic mid homing, and it wall splats when you're close to the wall. Up forward 3 is also amazing. You can use this similarly to Dragunov's up forward 3, Kazuya's up forward 3, or Leo's up forward 3. All these characters use up forward 3 the same way Leroy does. It's a low crushing mid that is used for wall splats. And as for lows, you can use his health sweep if you want to, but that's quite risky. If you want to be safer, you can just use sidestep 4 if you feel like mixing up your opponents a little bit and throw in a little low here and there to annoy them on top of your mids. It is +4 on hit, as we said, so it keeps up Leroy's momentum. As for wall combos, he has good wall damage as well. An easy wall ender would be something like 2-1-2-1. It gives that flip over animation for a good frame advantage and momentum. Max damage wall ender seems to be 1+2, 1+2 delayed one actually. You have to delay this to get 60% damage scaling at the end. As you can see right now, I got only 8 damage for 27 points of scaling. 27% of scaling, but if you delay it, you get more damage for 60% of scaling. Let me see if I can get it. There we go. So that's 60 damage in total from up forward 3. And you can also do down forward 1+2. You can delay the last hit for max damage. This is much easier to time than 1+2, 1+2, 1 because you can delay the last hit for a pretty long time. As you can see there, 55 points of damage. I also saw a very special wall combo where after screw you wall carry with an attack that ends in Hermit Stance, for example, down forward 1-4 maybe, and then do Hermit forward 4 and into back to 1+2 on the ground. However, I can't make it connect for some reason. Maybe you will come up with something better. Should look something like this. Yeah, I can't make it guaranteed there. Leroy also has one of those rage drives that give him more damage at the wall. His rage drive is forward 1+2. As you can see, it knocks really far. Yeah, it's +2 on block. It's sort of like, well, it's exactly like Nina's rage drive, for example. Let me show you what I mean. Oops, no, wrong combo. And I did a down forward 3-1 1+2 ender at the end there, without a delay this time. You can also connect 1+2 1+2 1 if you wish for slightly more damage. As for staple combos, as I said, I use the same combo route for pretty much every launcher. For example, wall standing 2 or counter hit down 1+2. Almost any launcher I can think of. So that's gonna be, for example, down forward to 1+2 launch into down back down back 1-3, down back 1-3, and then down 3-2. So down back 1-3 into down 3-2, and then Hermit 2-1 to screw. And for the ender, you're gonna dash up and do up forward 3+4 1+2. Easy 72 points of damage. If you happen to have a shorter combo, you can also wall carry with something like a forward 4-2. Like so. Let's talk about his Hermit Stance now. You input it manual with 3+4, but this is not advisable. It's better just to use this from strings that automatically go into the stance, and as far as I know, they cannot be cancelled, such as down forward 1-4, or his stand frame punisher, or down 3-2 with +8 frames, so you get great frames and a chance to mix up your opponents. All of his moves from the stance are actually really useful. He also has a sidestep from the stance, which is evasive, and it also auto low parries duck jabs and lows, and then after the low parry, Leroy is at +16 frames, so he gets up to 16 frames fast moves for free. They are guaranteed follow-ups. Let me show you something. So this is the parry, and you get, for example, Hermit for 1+2 for big damage, or Hermit 1+2. This is Hermit 1+2 or wall bounce. So when you're closer to the wall, you can actually get a full combo with the wall bounce. It would look something like this. Oops. Nice, 53 points of damage. Or 45 with a ball bounce and then a combo. Okay, so let's talk about his Hermit moves now. It's quite a simple stance actually. As I said previously, Leroy can work really well even with tiny amounts of frame advantage. He has quick moves from the stance as well. For example, Hermit 4 is an 11 frames fast mid. And he has a follow-up with Hermit 4 1+2. This is unsafe. Let me see how unsafe it is actually. I believe it's -14. Yeah, minus 14. But it is natural on hit. If you want to stay safe, just do the first hit. This will make opponents respect the stance. Similarly, to make opponents respect the stance, you can use Hermit 2-1, which is high, so it's duckable, but it is natural on hit. It's also delayable, slightly hit confirmable, but it's not guaranteed on full delay. Or is it? I'm pretty sure at one point I made the AI... There we go. He blocked the second hit. The nice thing about the second hit is that it counter hit launches. So you can also use the first hit if you want to. Only if you see that your opponent blocks the first hit, you can stop there and occasionally finish the string with one for an attempt to counter hit launch your opponent. It's also 12 frames fast, so it will work as a frame trap after 1, 2, 3, for example, which is +3, or down forward 1. God, sorry, I cannot talk today. Down forward 1 for +6, but he gets better frame traps there. Let's talk about other moves. Oh yeah, he also has Hermit forward 1. This is a 14 frames fast counter hit launcher. It looks like a mid. Look at this. The hitbox is really low, but it is a high actually, as you can see. And yeah, you can use this as a frame trap as well. For example, after down forward 1, 4, as we said, even after 1, 2, 3, I mean 1, 2, 4, it will interrupt most retaliation attempts. So yeah, it is a safe counter hit launcher, even though it's a high. It's a fantastic move. Is it a homing? No, I don't think it's homing. Looks like it might have some tracking. I don't know. Okay, as for those, he has Hermit back 4. This is an unseeable low since it's 20 frames fast. +4 on hit. The opponent is in this animation. They aren't crouching. The status says they are standing. And it is only -13 on block. Yeah, only -13 on block, surprisingly. You would think that such a great low would be more unsafe, as it is also homing and counter hit launches. Fantastic move. Full combo. Easy 70 points of damage. Great move. It also looks like it's gonna evade a lot. Maybe even some mids, but it seems like it's for sure gonna go under jabs, for example. Anyway, he also has Hermit 3-4 as another low. It's a low mid string. It's -15 on block, I believe. The mid. Yeah, it's -15, so it is risky. But yeah, both hits are natural on hit. And if you want to stay safe, then you can just do the first hit. But then you have a frame disadvantage. It's -13 on block. It's not too bad. As I said previously, he has a wall bounce from Hermit with 1+2. 15 frames fast, so you can also use the wall bounce to stop opponents from trying to interrupt the stance. It will still work as a frame trap after down forward 1-4 at +6 frames. Did I say it's -10 on block? I don't remember, but yeah, it is -10 on block. So it is unsafe, but it's not too bad. It's a small trade-off for a move that is so good. And he also has... Okay, so once you make the opponent respect Hermit Stance, and they are scared of you, you can bully them more with mids that have great frames on block. and are also counter hit launchers. For example, Hermit forward 4. As you can see, it's really slow, but it is 0 on block, so you get to pressure them more, or sidestep for example. And he also has Hermit back 1. This is also quite slow mid at 20 frames, but it is +4 on block. So you get to bully them even more afterwards when they block this move. And both of these are counter hit launchers. Both Hermit's back 1 and Hermit forward 4. And that's gonna be it from me for today, guys. I'll try to play Leroy next time when I stream and get some ranked matches going on with him, so that's gonna be a lot of fun. You can join my Twitch stream if you want to and say hi to me. The link is down below in the description. And with that being said, that's gonna be really it from me for today, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.